This is unbelievable, Eagles fans! Just when it seemed the roster was set, 3 behind-the-scenes pieces of news exploded at once, completely changing the season's rumor mill. First, a surprise signing was confirmed. The Eagles had to act quickly after an injury and brought in a new addition no one expected. But that's not all. Heavy rumors are rocking the NFL involving A.J. Brown, one of the franchise's biggest names, and there's even trade talk going on behind the scenes. And there's more. A bold move may be on the horizon to strengthen the defense, as the Eagles have emerged as contenders for a Pro Bowl cornerback. I've gotten exclusive information that hasn't yet reached the mainstream media, and I'm going to tell you all about it now. But first, if you wear green with pride, like and subscribe to the channel, because the sequence of bombshells I'm about to reveal will shake up the entire fan base. Philadelphia Eagles fans, stop what you're doing, because Sunday's matchup against the Denver Broncos just took a surprising turn. While most of the headlines this week have been about offense and defensive depth, the Eagles quietly made a move that could have enormous consequences. One of the most neglected positions in football has suddenly become the center of attention in Philadelphia: long snapper. On Tuesday, veteran Charlie Hewlett's placement on injured reserve with an undisclosed injury forced general manager Howie Roseman to act immediately. Hewlett, who signed with the Eagles this offseason after spending an impressive decade with the Cleveland Browns, was expected to provide the kind of reliability the franchise enjoyed for years under Rick Lovato. But now, after just a few games in the midnight green uniform, he's out for at least the next 4 games. His earliest possible return? November 10th against the Green Bay Packers. Following a week off, the spot suddenly opened the door for Cal Adamitis, a 27-year-old specialist who spent the last 3 years playing for the Cincinnati Bengals. Adamitis isn't just a scrutinized free agent signing. He comes from a wealthy football family. He attended Central Catholic High School in Pittsburgh, the same program that produced legends like Dan Marino, Mark Bulger, DeMar Hamlin, and even former Eagles player Stefan Wisniewski. At Pitt, he built a balance of consistency and poise, 2 traits the Eagles desperately need right now. Fans may overlook the significance of this change, but insiders know that special moments can decide entire seasons. A perfect snap for a late-game field goal, a flawless punt under pressure. It's often the smallest details that change the momentum in the NFL. Hewlett was one of the league's ironmen, never missing a game in his first 9 years, appearing in all 149 possible contests. But last season, his streak was cut short by rib injuries, and now history repeats itself. For a team aiming for another Lombardi trophy, this isn't just background noise. It's a real story to watch. The Eagles had already experienced this issue in training camp, when Hewlett missed a week of practice and Christian Johnstone temporarily took over the role. That experience likely eased the transition, but there's no denying the stakes are higher now. Adamitis will have to step onto the field and build an instant rapport with punter Braden Mann and kicker Jake Elliott. With games often decided by a single possession, one mistake could spell disaster. This move may not be among the best plays on SportsCenter, but it could be one of the underrated moments that shaped the Eagles' season. Philadelphia has proven time and time again that every roster spot matters, and Roseman's ability to respond quickly has been one of his greatest strengths as general manager. Adamitis now has the chance to turn an emergency signing into a season-defining opportunity. But while this roster adjustment is significant, it's only part of the puzzle, because while the Eagles reminisce about those special times, a storm is brewing around one of their fastest stars. His name? A.J. Brown, and the rumors swirling around him could shake the entire foundation of this offense. If you thought an injury to the long snapper would be dramatic, wait until you hear what's being said here about the future of Philadelphia's WR1. While the long snapper's transfer has garnered attention, the real shockwave in Philadelphia is focused on wide receiver A.J. Brown. Trade rumors are swirling, and while the Eagles insist he's not going anywhere, the buzz is impossible to ignore. In today's NFL, when star players are considered for potential deals, there's usually a reason, and Eagles fans know better than anyone that nothing is truly off the table. A conversation began after Philly's win over the Cowboys in Week 1. It was a good night for the team, but for Brown, the stat sheet told a different story. 1 reception, 8 catches, and only 1 target. For a player who thrives on being the focal point of the offense, the frustration was palpable. Everyone knows Brown's competitive spirit. When he's not involved, he doesn't hide it. International sources quickly revealed that several teams had already been linked to the Eagles during the offseason, testing Brown's availability. Diana Rossini of The Athletic confirmed that these calls occurred well before Week 1, and Howie Roseman's answer was a clear no. But in the NFL, a no in September can easily become a let's talk in October. That's why this story refuses to die. If Philadelphia ever considered the possibility, the price would be enormous. League executives speculate that it would take a former WR1 and at least a second-round pick in 2026 for Roseman to listen. That's without factoring in the 3-year, $96 million contract extension Brown signed in April. Whoever acquires him will not only be acquiring an elite receiver, receiver, but also shouldering the financial burden of his contract. The team most often associated with Brown is the New England Patriots, and the dots connect for one big reason: head coach Mike Vrabel. He coached Brown at Tennessee for the first 3 years of his career, where Brown recorded consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, earned a Pro Bowl nod, and helped the Titans reach the AFC Championship game. The connection between them was evident. And let's not forget the viral video of Vrabel's shock when Tennessee traded Brown to Philadelphia on draft night in 2022. It showed how much he valued him. A reunion in Foxborough would be like the NFL closing the loop. Of course, the Eagles aren't desperate. With Devonta Smith already a proven point guard, the duo forms one of the most dangerous winning duos in football. Losing Brown would leave a massive void that could cripple the offense and destroy Philly's chances of another Super Bowl. Roseman knows this, and that's why the official position remains firm. Brown is an Eagle. Still, fans can't ignore the smoke. Micah Parsons' success for Green Bay reminded everyone that in today's league, no one is untouchable. But while Brown's future remains a hot topic, there's another concern that could further impact the campaign: the weakness in the secondary, which already has the Eagles on the radar for new negotiations. While A.J. Brown's situation keeps fans glued to every update, the Eagles have another pressing issue that could define their season: the cornerback position. Despite a 4-0 start, the flaws in the secondary have been hard to ignore. In today's NFL, where the passing attack is relentless, a weak spot at cornerback can be the difference between a Super Bowl contender and a playoff disappointment. The Eagles have positives. Rookie Quinion Mitchell quickly proved his fit, playing with the confidence of a veteran, while Cooper DeJean has taken over the slot position with poise and upside. But the other cornerback position remains a problem. The team hoped Jacorian Bennett, acquired in a trade with the Raiders, would bring stability, but an injury placed him on injured reserve. This left Adoree Jackson and Kaylee Ringo to fill the void, and the results have been less than encouraging. Jackson's ranking near the bottom of the table speaks volumes, and Ringo's inconsistencies have only heightened the concern. That's why Rick Woolen's name has suddenly emerged as a potential solution. Just 2 years ago, Woolen looked like one of the NFL's next great defensive stars. He earned a Pro Bowl nod as a Heat guard in 2022 with the Seattle Seahawks, showcasing size, speed, and rare playmaking instincts. But since then, his trajectory has stalled. With Devin Witherspoon back from injury and surprising contributions from Josh Jobe and Darian Kendrick, Seattle may view Woolen as expendable. That's why the fact that he's in the final year of his contract and the likelihood of him being traded before the trade deadline grows more likely by the week. For Philadelphia, this is exactly the kind of game that fits Howie Roseman's DNA. The Eagles' general manager built his staff on bold decisions, never hesitating to make big moves if it meant filling a hole in the roster. Woolen wouldn't come cheap, but his career numbers suggest he's worth the gamble. In 52 games, he held opponents to a 54.7% completion rate and a 71.9 passer rating. Yes, his current season hasn't lived up to expectations, allowing over 61% completions and a passer rating above 100. But a fresh start in Philadelphia's aggressive defensive system could reignite his potential. Pairing Woolen and Mitchell on the wing, while DeJean is free in the slot, could transform the secondary overnight. Instead of being the biggest problem at the moment, the cornerback group could suddenly become a strength heading into the toughest stretch of the season. This is the kind of performance that not only plugs a hole, but also changes the trajectory of a title campaign. With special teams injuries piling up, A.J. Brown trade rumors rocking the locker room, and the cornerback position still a glaring weakness. Do you think the Eagles can overcome all this turmoil? Leave your opinion here, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with the latest Eagles news.